In this chapter, Hank Pruden talks about the 10 principles for a trader to live by. That's basically he summarized the complete book into the last chapter, and in this chapter he says these are the 10 principles. Any trader, if you want to be a trader, you should be living by it. So the first thing is being your own boss. As the name suggests, you should be your own boss. So in this he has two parts. That's basically in this particular principle he talks about two parts. First is being in a sealed room, and the second is committing to only one client. So what is this sealed room and what is this only one client? So sealed room is that particular place where you are completely isolated with other newses or other events or others' opinion. So basically you do your own analysis, you take actions on your own analysis. That is what the sealed room means. So this doesn't mean you completely isolate yourself and stay in a jail or those kind of environment. This basically means you do your own research without getting influenced of anyone else. Then comes the next second is you commit to only one client. That's basically that one particular client is yourself. That basically you need to have two versions of you. One is the boss, one is the client. Boss would be the one who would be looking at the overall figure, how the plan would be, how the trades should be, what kind of return expectations should be. And the client or the worker, that's basically the other person is worker. So you would be working for your boss. The boss is also us, but what the worker should be doing is whenever you are placing in your trading terminal or in front of your system, you should be very much aware and you should be always asking whether my boss would be happy with this trade, and you should take action accordingly. You should have the checklist, everything properly, and you shouldn't be doing something which wouldn't be satisfactory for your boss. So you are a boss, you are your client, so you should be very much careful about it, and that is the first principle. The next principle is leapfrogging your competitors. So as we know, trading is a highly crowded place. Markets are highly crowded place. Anything which we do is currently a lot crowded. In 21st century, to come out of this all, we need to have a winning edge by acquiring high concept and high touch talents. That is very much required. And for this Hank Pruden talks about a book from Daniel Pink, A Whole New Mind, where he introduced us to a lot of high touch concepts like using your right brain and taking decisions accordingly. Then comes the third principle. In third principle, he tells learn the vikov method very effectively and learn the discretionary trading, learn the pattern recognition in detail. So with it, he says you should be super strong with your technical studies. So whatever options, like whatever opportunities are there in market, you need to master it, and that is the third principle. Fourth principle, be a complete trader. According to Hank Pruden, a complete trader is a composite man. A composite man or a composite operator is a term given by Richard Vikov. So same, he says we need to be a composite operator. We need to plan our position. We need to conduct our campaigns, conduct our activities in trading as a composite operator. We should see how we plan it, where we will enter, when we will take the price up. We should think like a composite operator, and that's something which we need to do as a fourth principle. Then comes the fifth principle. The fifth principle is always be disciplined. So it is no rocket science. Being disciplined is a key to success. So here he tells without discipline nothing can be achieved anywhere in life or even in trading. So being disciplined is very, very essential for trading. Then comes the sixth principle. The sixth principle is build your system. That's basically whatever you are trading, you should build your system on a solid foundation of behavioral finance. So he says he had researched about the scientists who have actually studied human patterns. They have studied psychology, anthropology, sociology, and understood how human behaves in market. So it is a known fact that markets have been engineered based on human finance. That's basically however the crowd is acting, The markets are designed exactly opposite to it. So you should study, or if at all you are getting into an entry, you should study that entry process very properly. For example, Mark Minervini talks about VCP pattern. He finds a low risk idea. Then Davos Box talks about Davos Box strategy. That is also a low risk idea. Likewise, there are many low risk idea which you need to concentrate on. That is the sixth principle. Then comes the seventh principle. In seventh principle, he says use a decision support system. That's basically, if the market is sideways, what kind of indicators to use, what kind of market timing to use. So basically for volume, what all kind of volume, or what kind of indicators, or what kind of parameters to look, what kind of charts to look. So those kind of systems, we need to have a decision system, decision support system, which Hank Perdue has explored in his previous chapters, which once we would be making videos, you can go through it. So likewise, you should have a support system, and if at all you don't know what what to do, you can actually refer to the decision support system, and that's what is the seventh principle for a trader. Then comes the eighth principle. The eighth principle is test your trading system. That's basically you backtest it. Backtest can be manual or it can be using data. That's basically use data and completely backtest it using programs, or manual test it. If you are doing discretionary trading, maybe use the procedure which Hank had taught, like action sequence model, backtest it with a lot of data, a lot of markets activities for years. We have charts for more than 100 years these days. So you can just go back and just look at charts, how it is looking 100 years. I said it with New York Stock Exchange data also. So in Indian share market, how much of a data we have, we can go correlate with it and check how this worked or how it did work, and we need to take decisions accordingly. Then comes the ninth plan is adopt a planning and control process. In this planning and control process, he says this is a very essential process for any trader to live by. So here he tells control is very important. So here there are three stages. First is analysis, then planning, then implementation. In analysis, there is two analysis which we need to do, a trader's analysis and a market analysis. So that's basically a trader's mindset, rehearsal, how we are feeling, how the day works out. Then market, what are the opportunities, what can be the threats, those kind of analysis to be done. Then comes the planning phase. In planning phase, we need to fix a goal. That's basically what is our long-term goal, what is our short-term goals, because without goal we can't be able to do anything, we will not be able to do anything. Then comes the standards. That's basically if you are taking a trade, what would be the risk reward ratio. That's basically if you are risking 100, how much you want to gain. So that is your standard of trading. So if at all you are getting into trade, how much percentage return are you expecting. So these standards are to be fixed in this planning phase. Then comes the implementation phase. So implementation is very, very important. So whenever you are conducting your campaigns in market, you need to be very, very careful about like entry, exit, stop loss. You should be very disciplined. You should get in and get out very easily, and you need to monitor your performance outcome in this implementation stage. And this 1 to 3 process, that's basically you will see that if at all there is some fault, but like if there is a fault in the implementation, you need to check the implementation part. If the standards, that if your expectations was more but market couldn't give that expectation and that was a problem, you should set your standards properly again. You need to rework on your standards. Then is the plan itself in faulty? That's basically if the plan didn't work, or if the plan is working, you need to cross check it, examine it. And then if the goals are at fault, that basically if you have unrealistic goal, you need to go check that as per, like you should have this chart which is in front of you, and you should work, you should look at which is the thing which is troubling you, which is the particular part which is troubling you. Then comes is the market analysis at fault. If you had analysis, like if you thought the market is bullish but market went bearish, that's basically you have made a wrong, faulty decision. So you need to check that. If that's a problem, you need to go revisit your subjects on chart reading. So then last is the trader's discipline at fault? So if it is trader's discipline at fault, you need to look at the other points. That's basically the 10 tasks of trading, which would also be the next video which we would be making. Then comes the 10th principle, which is like basically he tells integrate these 3 skills of trading to your day-to-day life. That's basically make it an integral part of yourself. So these 3 skills are, first skill is behavioral, finance and system building. Second is pattern recognition and discretionary trading, and third is mental state management. So when you integrate this all as your internal part, this is very essential for any trading. And this 10 principles are to be a trader's go-to thing. That's basically a trader should be living by with this 10 principles, and this plays a pivotal role as per Hank Purdue.